Thus far, and so farewell.
Thanks, royal sir. My emperor had to route I must from hence, and I am right sorry to portray my master's enemy.
Our subjects, sir, will not endure his yoke. And for us to show less sovereignty than they must needs appear unkinglike.
So, sir, I desire of you a conduct overled, no prohibited. Madame, all joy will follow your grace.
And to you.
My lords, you are appointed for that office. The due of honor in no point omit. And so farewell. Noble Lucius.
Your hand, my lord.
Receive it friendly, but from this time forth I wear it as your enemy.
Sir, the event is yet to name the winner. Fare you well.
Leave not the worthy Lucius good, my lords, till he hath crossed the suburb. Happiness.
He goes hence frowning, but it honors us that we have given him cause.
To all the better. Your valiant Britons have their wishes in it.
Our chariots and our horsemen be in readiness. The powers that he already hath in Gallia will soon be drawn to head, from whence he moves his war for Britain.
'Tis not sleepy business, but must be looked to speedily and strongly.
Our expectation that it would be thus hath made us to forward. My gentle queen, where is our daughter? She hath not yet appeared before the Roman, nor to us hath she tendered the duty of the day. She looks us more like a thing made of malice than of duty. We have noted it. Call her before us, for we have been too slight with sufferance.
Royal sir, the exile of Posthumus is too new. The cure whereof 'tis time must do. Beseech your patience. Forbear sharp speeches unto her. She's a lady so tender of rebukes that words are strokes, and strokes death to her.
Where is she? How can her contempt be answered?
Please you, sir. Her chambers are all locked. There is no answer. That will be given to the loudest noise we make.
Her door is locked. Not seen of late. God, grant heavens that which I fear prove false. Imogen! Imogen!
Son, I say. Go after the king.
That man of hers, Pisanio, her old servant. I've not seen these 2 days.
Follow. Ah, Pisanio, thou that standest so for Posthumus. He hath a drug of mine. I pray his absence proceed by swallowing that, for he believes it is a thing most precious. But for her, where is she gone? Happily despair hath seized her, or winged with the fervor for her love, she's flown to her desired Posthumus. Gone she is, to death or to dishonor, and my end can make good use of either. She being down, I have the placing of the British crown. How now, my son?
To certain she is fled. Go in and cheer the king. He rages. None dare come about him.
All the better. May this night forestall him of the coming day.
I love and hate her. For she's fair and royal, and she hath all courtly parts more exquisite. The lady's woman. From every one the best she hath, she of all compounded unsells them all. I love her therefore, but disdaining me and throwing favors on the low Posthumus, sign her so her judgment as what else rarest choked. And in that point I will conclude to hate her, nay, indeed to be revenged upon her. For in full shall who is here? What are you packing? Zero! Come hither. Precious pander, villain! Where is thy lady? In a word, or else thou art straightway with the fiends.
Oh, good my lord.
Villain, where is thy lady? Is she with Posthumus, from whom so many weights of baseness cannot a draught of worth be drawn?
Alas, my lord, when will she mix? How can she be with him? He is in Rome.
Come in. No further halting. Satisfy me home. What has become of her?
Oh, my all-worthy lord.
All-worthy villain! Discover where thy mistress is at once. Speak. On the next word, no more of worthy lord. Thy silence on the instant is thy condemnation and thy death.
Then, sir, this paper is the history of my knowledge touching her flight.
Let's see it. I will pursue her even to Augustus' throne.
Or this will perish.
She's far enough, and what he learns by this may prove his travel, not her danger. I'll write to my lord she's dead. Oh, Imogen, safe mayest thou wander. Safe return again.
Sirrah, is this letter true?
Sir, as I think.
It's Posthumus's hand, I know it. Sirrah, thou must not be a villain, but do me true service. Undergo these employments wherein I should have cause to use thee with a serious industry. That is, what villainy soever I bid thee do to perform it directly and truly. I would think thee an honest man. Thou should neither want my means for thy relief, nor my voice for thy preferment.
Well, my good lord.
Wilt thou serve me?
Sir, I will.
Give me thy hand. Here is my purse. Have any of thy late master's garments in thy possession?
I have, my lord, and I lodge in the same suit you wore when he took leave of my lady and mistress.
That is the first service thou dost me. Fetch that suit hither. Let it be thy late service. Go!
I shall, my lord.
Meet thee at Milford Haven. I forgot to ask you one thing. I'll remember it tonight. Even there, thou villain Posthumus, I will kill thee. I would these garments would come! She said, upon a time, the very bitterness of it I now felt from my heart, that she held the very garment of Posthumus in more respect than my noble and natural person, together with the adornment of my qualities. With that suit upon my back, I will ravish her. First, kill him, and in her eyes there shall she see my valor, which will then be a torment to her contempt. Oh, and when my lust hath died, that is to say, I will vex her and execute the clothes she so willingly praised to the court. I'll not go back, for to her home again. She hath despised me rejoicingly, and I'll be merry in my revenge. Be those the garments?
Why, my lord?
How long is it since she went to Milford?
She can scarce be there yet.
Bring this apparel to my chamber. That is the second thing I have commanded thee. The third is, that will be a voluntary mute to my design. Be but duteous, and true preferment shall tender itself to thee. My revenge is now to Milford, and I am wings to follow it. Come, and be true.
Thou bidst me to my loss. For true to thee would to prove false, which I will never be to him that is most true. To Milford go, and find on her who thou pursuest. Flow, flow, you heavenly blessings on her. This fool speed cross of slowness. Labor brings weed.
Foundations fly the wretched. To lapse in fullness is sorer than to lie for need. And falsehood is worse in king than beggar. My dear Lord, thou art never falsehood. Now I think on thee, my hunger's gone. Even before, I was at a point to sink for food. But what is this? There's a path to it. "'Tis some savage hold. Oh, I were best not to call. I dare not call. Yet. Then. Ho! Who's there? If anything that's civil, speak. If savage, take her land. Ho! No answer. Then I'll enter. Best draw my sword. And if mine enemy but fear the sword like me, he'll scarce look upon it. Good heaven.
You, Polydor, have proved best woodsman and our master of the feast. Codwall and I will play servant and cook as our match. The sweat of industry would dry and die, but for the end it works too. Come, our stomachs will make what's homely savory. Oh, weariness can snore upon a flint. Rusty sloth finds a delicate heart. Now, peace be here. Poor house that keepest thyself.
I am thoroughly weary. I am weak with toil, yet strong in appetite.
There's no place to cave. We'll browse on that. Must not be a kill to come.
Come not near. But that it eats our victuals, I should think you were a fairy.
What's the matter, sir?
By Jupiter, an angel, or if not, an earthly paragon. Behold, divineness no elder than a boy.
Good masters, harm me not. Before I had entered here, I had called and thought to have begged or bought what I had took the trot. I have stolen not, nor would not. There's money for my meat. I would have left it on the board so soon as I had made my meal a party with prayers for the provider.
Money? You... All gold and dirt weather turned to silver, and 'tis no better reckoned but of those who worship dirt.
I see you're angry. You know if you kill me for my fault, I would have died had I not made it.
Whither bound? What's your name?
Fidelli, sir! I have a kinsman who is bound for Italy. When he embarked, to whom being going, I am fallen in this offense.
Prithee, fair youth, think us no churls, nor measure our good mind by this rude place we live in. Well encountered. Well, 'tis almost night. You shall have better cheer ere you depart, and thanks to stay and eat it. Boys, bid him welcome.
Were you a, woman? I should, woo hard to be your groom. In all honesty, I'd bid for you as I... But he is a man, along as my brother, and such a welcome as I give to him, after long absence, such as yours. Be sprightly, for you fall amongst friends.
Amongst friends, brothers. Would it have been so that these had been my father's sons? Had my prize been less, some more equal the lasting to be posthumous.
Brings that some distress.
Will it be free to fly, whatever pain it costs, or what danger it be gone?
Harter, boys.
Great men that had a court no bigger than this cave. virtue by which their own conscience sealed them. Laying by that greater gift of differing multitude could not outpeer these twain. Pardon me, gods. I changed my sex to be companion with them, since Leonatus falls.
Pray, draw near. The Knights of the Owl and Mortal are less welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Goodly day not to keep owls with such whose roofs as low as ours. Hail now, fair heaven! We house in the rock, yet use thee not so hardly as prouder livers do.
Hail heaven!
Hail heaven!
I'm at the place where they should meet. Pisanio went back to truth. How fit his garments serve you? Why should his mistress, who was made by him that made the tailor, not be fit too? For to set a woman's fitness comes by fits. Therein, I must play the workman. I mean, the lines of my body are as well drawn as his. No less young, more strong, not beneath him in fortunes, beyond him in the advantage of the time, above him in birth, and more remarkable in single oppositions. Yet, this imperseverant thing loves him in my despite. What mortality is! Posthumus, thy hair, which is now growing upon thy shoulders, shall within this hour be off. Thy mistress enforced, thy garments cut to pieces before thy face, and all this done, spurn her home to her father, who may have me be a little angry for my so rough usage. But my mother, having power of this testiness, shall turn all into my commendations. Out with sword, and to a sore purpose. Fortune, put them into my hand.
You are not well. Remaining in the cave. We'll come to you after hunting.
Brother, stay here. Are we not brothers?
So men and men should be, but clay and clay differs in dignity. Its dust is both alike. I am very sick.
Go you to hunting. I'll abide with him.
So sick I am not, yet I am not well. But is this unto wantonness to seek to die ere sick, so please you leave me.
I love thee. I have spoken. The quantity, the weight is much, as I do love my own father. Ha! Ha! I yoke me in my good brother's fault. I know not why I love this youth, but I've heard you say.
Love is reason without reason.
The buyer at the door and demands who it shall die. I'd say, my father, not you.
Oh, noble strain, worthiness of nature, breed of greatness. Cowards father cowards, and base things sire base. Nature hath meal and bran, contempt and grace. I am not their father. This should be doth a miracle itself love before me. 'Tis 9th hour of the morning. Brother, farewell.
I wish ye sport.
And you help, so please you, sir.
Kind creatures. God, what lies I have heard. Our courtiers say all savage men at court. Experience. Oh, thou just proved this report. Imperious seas breed monsters for the dish. Or tributary rivers as sweet fish. I am sick still. Pisanio, I'll now taste of thy blood.
To the field. Pray, go in and rest.
We'll not be long away.
Be not sick, for you must play our housewife.
shan't be ever. His youth, however distressed, appears to have good ancestors.
How angel-like he sings. But his neat cookery, he kind of roots in characters, and sauce the rocks, as though Juno had been sick, and he her diaper. Yes, yes, nobly he yokes, a smiling with a sigh. A smile for not being that it was, a smile mocking the sigh, that it would fly from so divine a temple the winged sailors could mix it. I do note that grief and patience, rooted in it both, mingle their spurs together. Oh, grow patience, and let the stinking elder grief untwine his perishing root. Andy Greasy.
Great morning, come, away! Who's there? I cannot find those runagates! The villain hath mocked me! I am faint. Runagates? Means he not us? Partly know him. 'Tis Cloten, the son of the queen. I fear some ambush. I saw him not these many years, and I know 'tis he. We're held as outlaws. Hence!
He is but what? You and my brother are sure to come things are near. Pray you, away, let me alone with him.
Soft! What are you that fly me thus? Some men of mountaineers? I have heard of such. What slave art thou?
A thing, more slavish than one never did answering. A slave without a knock.
Thou art a lawbreaker, a robber, a villain, yielding thief.
To who? To thee? What art thou? Have I not an arm as big as thine? A heart as big? Thy words, I grant, are bigger, for I wear not my dagger in my mouth. Pray, what art thou? Why shall I yield to thee?
Thou villain base, knowest me not by my clothes.
No, nor the tailor, rascal. Who is thy grandmother? She made those clothes, which, as it seems, made thee.
Thou precious varlet, my tailor made them not!
Yes, and then the woman that gave them thee. Thou art a fool. I am loath to beat thee.
Thou injurious thief, hear but my name, and tremble!
What's thy name?
Cloten, thou villain!
Cloten? Though double villain be thy name, I do not tremble at it, were it toad, adder, spider. Could move me sooner.
I'm not afeard.
At those I reverence, I fear. The wise, at fools I laugh at. Not to fear them.
Die the death! I have slain thee. With my copper hand, I'll set off for those that even now fled hence, and on the gates of Ludstown set your heads. Yield, rustic mountaineer.
No companies abroad?
None in the world. You did mistake him, surely.
Oh, I cannot tell. Long it is since I saw him last. But time hath nothing blurred those snatches in his voice and bursts of speaking. Oh, I am absolute 'twas very Cloten.
In this place we left him. I wish my brother had a good time with him. Instead, he's so fair.
I'm being scarce made up. I mean, to man he hath not the apprehension of roaring terror, for the effect of judgment is oft the cause of fear. Oh, but see, brother.
This Cloten was a fool. An empty purse. He had no money in it. Not Hercules could have knocked his brains out, for he had none. Yet, I not doing this, the fool had borne my head, as I do his.
What have you done?
I am perfect to it. Cut off one Cloten's head, son to the queen. That is all his head. And call thee traitor. Mountaineer. Thank you, gods. They broke. Set them on Floodstown.
We are all undone!
Why? Were they bothered? What have we to lose but that? Our lives. The luck?
The law protects, not us. So what? We can here but an arrogant piece of flesh. Run us, play judge, and executioner, all himself. Would you weaker the law?
Oh! No single soul can we set eye on! But in all safe reason, we must have some attendance! Though his humor was nothing but mutation and from one thing to worse, not frenzy, not absolute madness, could so far have raised him to come here alone. Though it may be heard at courts that such as we trade here and hunt here are outlaws, and in time he might break out and swear he'll fetch a sin. Yet is it not probable to come here alone? Either he so undertaking, or they so suffering. Oh, then on good ground we fear. I do fear this body has the tail of careless of the head.
That order to come with God forsake. However, my brother hath done well.
I had no mind to hunt today. This boy Fidele's sickness did make my way on forth.
With his own sword, which against my throat, I have taken his head from him. I'll throw it into the creek, behind a rock, and let it out to sea, and let the fishes know he's the queen's son, Cloten. That's all I read.
I fear 'twill be revenged. Polydor, thou hast not done it, though valor makes thee well enough. Oh.
When I had done it, revenge no alone would have pursued me. Polydor, I love you brotherly. But envy much. Thou hast robbed me of this deed. I would so alone pursue, his deed of revenge might meet and put us to our answer.
Well, 'tis done. We'll hunt no more today, nor seek for danger where there is no profit. Hey, to the rock, you and Fidele play the cooks. I'll stay till hasty Polydor return, and bring them to dinner presently.
Poor sick Fidele. Our weariness to gain a color, and then to let such a drop of Cloten's blood, and then he would see it, and to praise myself for chill.
Goddess, how divine nature, how thyself thou blazonest in these two princely boys. 'Tis wonder that an invisible instinct should frame them to civility unlearned, honored and taught, royalty not seen from other, valor that wildly grows, yet yields a crop as if it had been sowed. Still it's strange. Cloten's being here to us pretends, or what his death will bring us.
I studied Cloten's gauntlet on the string, and then beseech his mother. His body is hostage to his return.
Hark. Polydor. It sounds. But what occasion hath Cloten now to give it motion? Hark!
Is he at home?
He went hence even now.
What does he mean? Since death, my dearest mother did not sound before. All solemn things should answer solemn accidents. Is Cadwell mad?
thy bird is dead. That we have put so much on. I would have rather skipped from 16 years of age to 60. To return my leaving time to a crutch than to have seen this.
The sweetest, fairest lily. My father priest thee not one half so well as when thou grewest thyself.
Oh, melancholy. Thou blessed thing. Jove knows what man thou mightst have made, but thou diedst the most rare boy melancholy.
How found you him?
Stark as you see. Thus mine is fly-trickled slumber. And on this death's dark, his right cheek reposing on cushion.
Where?
Oh, the Lord. His arms thus lean. I thought he slept. I put my clouded rocks from off my feet, whose rudeness answered my steps too loudly.
Why? He thus sleeps. If he be gone, he'll make his bed and rain. The female fairies was to be hunted. Words will not come to me.
With fairest flowers, while summers last, I live here, Fidelity. I'll sweeten thy sad grave. Thou shalt not lack a flower like me, pale primrose. Nor be a Sir Carebear like thy baby.
Prithee, I'm done! Do not play at once like words which are so serious! Let us bury him, and not protract with admiration which is now due death to the grave.
So, then let us Polydor sink him into the ground, and use due word and note as once our mother, say that we lived and we must live.
Admiral, I cannot sin. I'll weep. And notes of sorrow out of tune are worse than priests and things that lie.
Also,
Great griefs. I see medicine the less. For Cloten is quite forgot. He was the queen's son, boys. And though he came to us our enemy, remember, he was paid for that. Our foe was princely. And though you took his life as being our foe, yet buried him as a prince.
Pray you, fetch him hither.
I'll sing our song once. So begin. The furious winter's rages, thou thy worldly task hast done. Home art gone, and pay thy wages. Golden lads and girls almost as chimney sweepers come to die. Fear no more the frown, oh the great. Thou hast passed the tyrant's stroke. Fear endless and your rash. Thou hast finished joy and moan. All lovers young, all lovers must consign to thee and come to dust.
Here are some flowers. About midnight. Come. Apart on your knees. The ground that gave them first has them again. Their pleasures here are past. So is their pain.
Yes, sir, to Milford. Oh, which is the way? Oh, I've gone all night. Think I should lie down and sleep. Stop. No bedfellow. Oh, God to God! These flowers are like the pleasures of the world. This bloody man care on it. Oh, I hope I dream. For so I thought I had been a gatekeeper and cooked to honest creatures. But 'tis not so. 'Twas a bolt at nothing, a shot at nothing. And our brain makes it fury. Our eyes are sometimes like our judgment. Blind. Good faith. I tremble with fear. A headless man! The garments of Posthumus! I know the shape of his leg! This is his hand. His foot, mercurial. His martial thigh, the bronze of Hercules. But his jovial face, 'tis God. Oh, murder in heaven, hell! Pisanio hath conspired with that miraculous devil Cloten. Hath here cut off my mouth, to write and read me henceforth the treacherous, oh, damned Pisanio. Hath he his forged letters stamped Pisanio? From this most bravest vessel of the world struck the main top. The drug that he gave me, that he said was to be precious and cordial to me, and not found it to be murderous to the senses. That confirms the fool. This is Pisanio's deed, and Cloten's. Oh. Oh, give color to my pale cheeks with thy blood. All the horror we may seem to those who chance to find us. Oh, my Lord. My Lord.
To them the legions garrison in Gallia and are attending you here at Milford Haven with your ships. They are in readiness.
But what's from Rome?
The Senate hath stirred up the confiners and gentlemen of Italy, most willing spirits who promise noble service under the conduct of bold Iachimo.
And expect you then.
At the next benefit of the wind.
This fortness makes our hopes fair. Command our present number 3 muster, and the captains look to it.
Last night, the very gods showed me a vision. I fasted and prayed for their intelligence thus. I saw the Roman eagle Jove's bird from the spongy south to this part in the west. There vanished in the sunbeams which portends, unless my sins abuse my divinations, success to the Roman host.
Dream often so, and never false. He sought. Ho! My trunk is here without his top. The ruins speak that sometime those who worthy built it. How? A page, or dead or sleeping on him, but dead rather. Nature doth afford to make his bed of the defunct, or sleep upon the dead. Let's see the boy's face.
He is alive, my lord.
He'll then instruct us of this body. Young one, inform us of thy fortunes, for it seems they crave to be demanded. Who is this thou makest thy bloody pillow? Or who was he that otherwise noble nature yet hath altered this good picture? What's thy interest in this sad wreck? How came it? Who is it? What art thou?
I am nothing. Or not. Nothing. This was my master. A very valiant and a good Briton who here by mountaineers lie slain. Alas, there are no more such masters. I may wander from east to occident, cry out for service, try many, all good, serve truly. Never find such a master.
Black, good youth, thou movest no less with thy complaining than thy master, and bleed. Say thy name, good friend.
Belarius.
Thou dost approve thyself the very same. Thy name will fit thy faith, thy name. Won't take thy chance with me. I will not say thou shalt be so well mastered, but be sure, no less beloved. The Roman emperor's letter sent by a council to me should not sooner than thine own word prefer thee. Go with me.
First, may it please the gods, I will hide my master as deep as these pickaxes can dig. And when with wildwood leaves and weeds I had strewn his grave and said a century of prayers twice over, leaving so his service I'll follow. So please you entertain me.
Aye, good youth. And rather fatherly than master. The boy hath taught us manly duties. Philarmonus, go and find out the prettiest daisy plots you can, and with our pikes and partisans dig a grave. Come, boy, Arviragus. He's preferred to thee, my ass, and shall be interred as soldiers can. Be cheerful, wipe thine eyes. Some falls are means, and happier to arise. All right, I'll take it.
you at once do touch. Imogen, the great heart of my comfort, God, my queen, upon a desperate bed, and in a time when fearful wars point at me, her son, God, so needful for this present, strikes me past the hope of comfort. What's for thee, fellow, who needs must know of her departure, and dost act so ignorant, we will enforce it from thee with a sharp torture.
Sir, my life is yours. I humbly set it at your will. Before my mistress, I nothing know where she remains, why gone, or when she promises return. Beseech your highness, hold me your loyal servant.
Good, my liege. The day that she was missing, he was here. I dare be found he's true and shall perform all parts of subjection loyally. We're Cloten, there wants no diligence in seeking him, and will no doubt be found.
Time is troublesome. We'll slip you for a season, but our jealousy is yet ahead.
So please, your majesty, the Roman legions, all from Gallia drawn, are landed on your coast, with a supply of Roman gentlemen by the Senate sent.
Now will the counsel of my son and queen! I am amazed at the matter.
Good, my liege, the preparation can affront no less than what you hear of. Come more, the more we're ready. The want is to put these powers in motion that long to move.
Thank you. Let's away. And meet the time as it seeks us. We do not fear what from Italy can annoy us, but we grieve at chances here. On!
I heard no letter from my master since I wrote that Imogen was slain. 'Tis strange. Nor hear I from my mistress who did promise to yield me often tidings. Neither know I what is betid the claw, but remain perplexed and all. The heavens still must work. Wherein I am false, I am honest. Not true, to be true. These present wars shall find I love my country, even to the note of the king, or I'll fall on them. All other doubts, by time let them be cleared. Fortune brings me some boats that are not steered.
The noise is round about us.
Let us from it.
What pleasure, sir, find me in life to put it from action and adventure? Nay, what hope have we in hiding us? This way, the Romans must over Britain slay us, or receive us for barbarous and unnatural revolts, and slay us after.
Sons, we'll hire to the mountains, there to secure us. To the king's party there's no going. Newness of Cloten's death, we being not known, not mustered amongst the bands, might drive us to render where we have lived. And so extort from that which we have done, whose answer would be death drawn on with torture.
This is, sir, a doubt. In such time neither becoming you, nor satisfying us. It is not likely that when they hear the Roman horses neigh, behold their quartered fires, have both their eyes and ears cloyed so importantly as now, that they will waste their time upon our note to know from whence we are.
Oh, I am known! Of many in the army, many years. Though Cloten then but young, you see, not wore me from my remembrance. And besides, the king hath not deserved my services, nor your loves.
Then be so better to cease to be. Pray, sir, to the army. My brother and I are not yet known. Yourself so out of thought, and their two so overgrown, cannot be questioned. By this sun that shines out hither, never did I see man die. Never have I shed the blood of cowards, hot goats, or venison. Never have I bestood a horse with a rider like thyself. I am ashamed to look upon the holy rays of the sun, and to see the outreach of its grasp, and to know that I am still so poor, a great unknown. By heavens, I'll go. You will bless me, sir. You give me leave. I'll take the better care. But if you will not, the hazard therefore do follow me by the hand, Romans.
So say I, amen.
No reason I, since of your lives you set so slight a valuation, must reserve my cracked one with more care. Have with you, boys. If in your country's war you chance to die, that is my bed too, and there I'll lie. Lead. Lead! Time seems long. Their blood being scorned, till it fly out and show their princes again.
Yea, bloody club, I'll keep thee, for I wish thou shouldest be colored thus. Pisanio, every good servant does not all commands, no bond but to do just ones. God! If you should attain vengeance for your faults, I never have lived to put on this. So had you saved the noble Imogen to repent, and struck me, wretched with your vengeance. But, alack, you snap some heads for little faults. That's love, to have them fall no more. Yet you some permit to second ills with ills, each elder worse, and make them dread it, to the doer strict. But Imogen is your own. Do your best wills, and make me blessed to obey. I've been brought hither amongst the Italian gentry, to fight against my lady's kingdom. 'Tis enough that Britain I have killed thy mistress. Peace! I'll give no wound to thee. Disrobe me of these Italian weeds, and suit myself as does a Briton peasant. So I'll fight against the part I come with. So I'll die for thee, O Imogen, for whom my life is every breath a death. And thus, unknown, pitied nor hated, to the face of peril myself I'll dedicate. Thee make men know more valor in me than my habits show. Gods, put the strength of the Leonati in me!
Stand! Stand and fight!
Friends kill friends. Disorders such as war were hoodwinked. Since our fresh supplies. The war's on Frenchmen. Little times. Little times.
Let me down. I'm stopping the chaser. Or retire us all. Around. Confusion makes more quickly by kicking away the faces. Stop slayer war. Good night. Overboard in the form of rage. And chase my father. He shall the slaughter of that slave. Those that resist. Or retire from the mortal clutches of the field. This was a strange chance. 2 boys. An old man, twice the boy I laid. Preserved the British. And was Rome in Spain.
Today, how many would have given their honors to have saved their carcasses, took heel to do it, and yet died too? Aye, great the slaughter is here made by the Roman. Great the ends of we Britons must take. On either side I come to spend my breath, which neither here I'll keep nor there again, but ended by some means for Imogen.
Great Jupiter be praised. Lucius is taken.
So 'tis reported.
Stand, who's there?
A Roman, who would not have been here drinking of seconds had answered him.
Lay hands on him, a dog. The leg of Rome shall not return to tell her crows have kicked them here. Wow.
Oh, look for the jail necessities, those simple jail necessities. Forget about your worries and your wife. Look for the jail necessities, those simple jail necessities. The simple jail necessities of life. You shall not now be stolen. You have louts about you. So graves as you find pasture. Aye, or a stomach.
So, if I prove a good repast to the spectators, the dish pays the shot.
A heavy reckoning for you, sir. But the comfort is you shall be called to no more payments. You fear no more tavern bills, which are often the sadness of partners to procure it of earth. You come in faith for want of meat. Depart reeling with too much drink. Sorrow you have paid too much, and sorrow you are paid too much. Purse and brain both empty. The brain the heavier for being light, the purse too light for being drawn of heaviness. Of this contradiction you shall soon be quit, you dumb ass! Your father, bare necessities, those simple jail necessities, simple jail necessities of life.
Oh, Imogen, speak to thee in silence.
No more, thou Thundermaster, show thy spite on mortal flies. With Mars fill out, with Juno chide, hath not my poor boy done aught could well, whose face I never saw? Whose father then, thou as mortals report, orphan's father art? Thou shouldst have been and shielded him from this earth-vexing smart.
Lucina lent not me her aid, but took me in my throes. That from me was Posthumus ripped, here crying amongst his foes. A thing of pity!
Great nature, like his ancestry, hath molded this stuff so fair that he should have the praise of the wind, as great Cecilius' heir.
When once he was mature for man in Britain, where was he that could stand up as parallel
and exercise not against a valiant race thy harsh and potent injuries.
Since Jupiter, our son, is good, take off his miseries!
Peep through thy marble mansion, help or poor ghosts will cry to the shining synod of the rest against thy deity.
Help, Jupiter, or we appeal, and from thy justice fly!
Spirits of region low, offend our hearing. Hush! How dare you, ghost, accuse the thunderer, whose bolts you know sky-planted batters all rebelling coasts. Poor shadows of Elysium, hence, and rest upon your never-withering banks of flowers. Be not with mortal accident suppressed. No care of yours it is. You know 'tis ours. Whom best I love, I craft, to make my gift the more delayed, delighted. So be content. Your low-laid son, our Godhead will uplift. His comforts will thrive, his trials well are spent. This tablet lay upon his breast, wherein our full pleasure his fortune doth confide. So away, and no longer with your din express impatience, lest you stir up mine. Mount, eager, to my palace crystalline!
Away, and to be blessed, let us with care perform his great behest.
Gone. They went hence so soon as they were born. Look. Oh, rare one. Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our services to the test. The jailer's here to keep you company. We've got a lot to do. Would you like one noose or two? Be our guest. Hanging is the word, sir. If you'll be ready for that, you are well cooked. Come, sir. Are you ready for death?
Over roasted rather, ready long ago. I am merrier to die than thou art to live.
Indeed, sir. He that sleeps fears not the toothpick. But if a man were to sleep, you'll sleep, and the hanged man would help him to bed, I think he would change places with his officer. For look you, sir, you know not which way you should go.
Yes, indeed do I, fellow.
Your death, his eyes in his head. I have not seen him so pictured. You must either be directed by those that take upon them to know, or must take upon yourself that which I am sure you do not know.
I tell thee, fellow, there are none want eyes to direct them the way that I am going, but such as wink and will not use them.
What an infinite mark is this, that a man should have the best use of eyes to see the way of blindness. I'm sure hanging's the way of winking.
Knock off his manacles, I'll take the prisoner to the king.
That bringeth good news. I am called to be made free.
I'll be hanged then.
I shall be freer than a jailer. No bolts for the dead.
Unless a man would marry a gallows and get young gibbets, I've never seen one so strong. You know my conscience that the very knaves alive desire to live for old he be alone. There be some too that die against their wills. So should I, if I were one. Who can take a sunrise, sprinkle it with glee, cover and chocolate and a little hostility. The jailer man can, 'cause he mixes it with blood and makes the world taste good.
Stand by my side, you whom the gods have made preservers of my throne. I am the heir of your reward, by which I will give to you the liver, heart, and brain of Brittany, by which I grant she lives. 'Tis now the time to ask of whence you are. Report.
In Cambria are we born, sir, and gentlemen. And to further boast, we are neither true nor modest, unless I add we are honest.
Bow your knees. This sword, I will create you companions to our person, and will fit you with dignities becoming your estates. Arise, my knight of the battle! There's business in these faces. Why greet you our victory so coldly? You look like Romans and not court of Britain.
Hail, great king. To sour your happiness, I must report. The queen is dead.
Who words? Then a physician would this report become? But I consider my medicine life may be prolonged. Yet death will seize the doctor, too. How ended she?
With horror, madly died, like a life which, being cruel to the world, concluded most cruel to herself. What she confessed I will report, so please you. These her women can trip me if I err, who with wet cheeks were present when she finished.
What did he say?
First, she confessed she never loved you. Only affected greatness got by you, not you. Married your royalty, was wife to your base, abhorred your person.
She alone knew this. And but she spoke it dying, I would not believe her lips in opening it. Proceed.
Your daughter, whom she bore in hand in love with such integrity, she did confess was as a scorpion to her sight, whose life, but that her flight prevented, she had taken off by poison.
Most delicate being. Who is it can read a woman? Is there more?
More, sir, and worse. She did confess she had for you a mortal mineral, which being took should by the minute feed on life and lingering by inches waste you. In which time she purposed, by watching, weeping, tendance, kissing, to overcome you with her show, and in time, when she had fished you with her craft, to whip a son into the adoption of the crown. But, failing of her end by this strange absence, grew shameless, desperate, opened in despite of heaven and men her purposes, repented the evils she hatched were not effected, so despairing died.
Heard all you this, the women.
We did, so please your highness. Yeah.
Mine eyes were not in fault, for she was beautiful. Mine ears that heard her flattery, no, my heart that mistook her for her seeming. It had been business, have mistrusted. Oh, and yet, my daughter, that it was wholly in me, thou mayest say, and prove it in thy feeling. Heaven, men all. Thou comest not, Caius, now for tribute that the Britons have raised out, though it be loss of many a bold one, whose kinsmen have made suit, that their good souls may be appeased with the slaughter of you, their captives, which ourselves have granted, and so think of your estates.
Consider, sir, the chance of war.
Oh,
The day was yours by accident. Had it gone with us, we should not, when the blood was cool, have threatened our prisoners with the sword. But if the gods will have it thus, then let nothing but our lives be called ransom. Let it come. Sufficeth a Roman with a Roman's heart can suffer, and Augustus live to think on't, and so much for my peculiar care. But this one thing I will entreat. My boy, a Britain born. Never a master had a page so kind, so duteous, diligent, so tender loving over his occasions, so feat, so nurse-like. Let his virtue join with my request, which I make bold your highness cannot deny. He hath done no Briton harm, but served a Roman. Save him, sir, and spare no blood beside.
I have heard of him. His favor is not unfamiliar to me. Boy, thou hast looked thyself into my grace, and art my love. I know not why they say wherefore. Live, boy, never thank thy master live. And ask of Cymbeline what boon thou wilt, and fitting thy bounty in thy estate, I'll give it. Yea, though thou do demand a prisoner, the noblest ta'en.
I humbly thank you, Highness.
What wouldst thou, boy?
I'll tell you, sir, in private. Please you give me hearing.
Aye, with all my heart, and lend my best attention. What's thy name, lad?
Fidele, sir.
Thou art my good youth, my page, and I thy master. Come, walk with me, and speak freely.
Is not this boy revived from death? He said and live alive.
Peace, peace! Let's see further. He eyes us not. For bare creatures may be alike. Were he, I'm sure he would have spoke to us.
But we saw him dead.
Be silent. Let's see further.
Come, stand thou by our side, and make thy demand a man. Sir, step you forth, and give answer to this boy, or by our greatness and the grace of it, which is our honor, bitter torture shall we know the truth from falsehood. On! Speak to him!
My boon is that this gentleman may render up whom he had his ring.
That diamond upon your finger. Say how it became yours.
I am glad to be constrained to utter that which conceals me. By villainy I got this ring. 'Twas Leonatus' jewel, whom thou didst banish, and which may more grieve thee as it doth me. A nobler sir that never lived twixt sky and ground. Will thou hear more, my lord?
All that belongs to this.
That Paragon, my daughter.
My daughter?
Our daughter.
Give me leave, I faint. Renew thy strength. I would rather thou live, while nature wills, than die ere I hear more.
Upon the time, unhappy was the clock that struck the hour. 'Twas in Rome, accursed the mansion where 'twas a feast. Oh, the good Posthumus, what said I say?
I stand on fire! Come to the matter!
Your daughter's chastity, there it begins. He spake of her as dying had hot dreams, and she alone were cold, whereat I, wretch, made scruple of his praise, wagered pieces of gold to this which he wore upon his honored finger, and in suit to attain places of bed, and win this ring by her and mine adultery. And to be brief, my practice is so prevailed, that I returned with similar proof enough to make the noble Leonatus mad, by wounding his belief in her, with tokens thus and thus, a burning note, a chamber, this her bracelet. Oh, cunning how I've got it, nay, some marks of secret upon her person. I having taken forfeit, whereupon he thinks I see him now.
I so thou dost, Italian being!
I be was credulous fool, egregious murderer, thief, anything that's due to all the villains past. It be to come, give me court and knife with poison, some upright justice, sir. Thou, king, send not for torturers and genius, for it is I that all the abhorred things of the earth amend by being worse than they.
I am Posthumus that killed thy daughter. Villain like I lie, because a lesser villain than myself, a sacrilegious thief to do it. Temple in which was she, yea, and she herself. Spit and roast stones, cast mire upon me, set the dogs of the streets and bait me. Let every villain be called Posthumus Leonatus, and be villainy less than 'twas. Oh, Imogen, my queen, my life, my wife. Oh, Imogen. Imogen!
Peace! My lord, here.
Oh! Don't have a play on this. A scornful pain!
Come these fighters on me! Oh, get out of my sight! Thou givest me poison, dangerous foul hence, where the nominal princes are!
Says the tune of Imogen.
Oh, ladies, the gods throw stones of salt around me. If that vial I gave you was not thought by me a precious thing, I had it from the queen.
Oh, God. I left out one thing which the queen confessed, which must have proved thee honest. If Pisanio had, said she, given his mistress that confection which I gave him for cordial, she is served as I would serve a rat.
What's this, Cornelius?
The queen, sir, very oft importuned me to temper poisons for her, still pretending the satisfaction of a knowledge only in killing creatures vile as cats and dogs of no esteem. I, dreading her purpose was of more danger, did compound for her certain stuff which, being took, would cease the present power of life, but in short time all offices of nature should again do their due functions. Have you taken of it?
Most like I did, for I was dead.
Oh, sorry.
My boys, there was our heir.
This is sure fidelity.
Why have you thrown your wedded
Oh.
from me? But you are upon a rock and then throw me dead.
Oh,
Be not like a fruit, my soul, till the tree die. How now? My flesh, my child! Dost thou make me a dullard in this act? Wilt thou not speak to me?
Your blessing, sir.
Oh, Imogen.
Though you love this youth, I blame you not. Surely you had motive for it.
Here's the fool. Through holy watch on me, Imogen. My mother is dead.
I'm sorry for it, my lord.
She was not. And long of her it is that we meet here so strangely. For Cloten is gone. We know not how nor
I slew him.
There, gone. Then, I would not thy good deeds should from thy lips pluck a bond sentence. Prithee, valiant youth, deny it again.
I have said it, and I did it.
He was a prince.
A most incidental one. The wrongs he did me were nothing prince-like, for he did so spur me with language and make me strike the sea. If he could so roar to me, I cut off his head, and I'm right glad he is not standing here to tell this tale of mine.
I'm sorry on it, but by thine own tongue thou art condemned, and must endure our law. Thou art dead.
That headless man I thought had been my lord.
Find the offender, and take him from our presence.
No, stay! Sir King! This man is better than the man he slew. As well descended as thyself, and has more of thee merited than a band of Clotens that ever scarred for. Let his arms alone. They were not born for bondage.
Why, old soldier, wilt thou undo the words thou art yet unpaid for by tasting of our wrath? How of descent as good as we?
And that he spoke to
And thou shalt die for it!
You will die all three!
I will prove that 2 arms are as good as I have given out to him. My sons. I must, for mine own part, unfold a dangerous speech. Oh, happily well for you. Your danger's ours.
And our good his.
Have at it, my liege. Thou hadst, great king, a subject who is called Belarius.
One of him. He is a banished traitor!
He it is that hath assumed this age! Indeed, a banished man. I know not how a traitor!
Take him hence! The whole world shall not save him!
Too hot! First pay me for the nursing of thy sons!
Nursing of my sons!
Come on, and too hot! Saucy! Where's my knee?
Ere I arise, I will prefer my sons, and spare not the old father. Mighty sir, these two young gentlemen that think they are my sons and call me father are none of mine. They are the issue of your loins, my liege.
How?
And the blood of your begetting.
My issue?
As sure as you, your fathers. I, old Morgan and Belarius, whom thou sometime banished. These gentle princes, for such and so they are these 15 years, have I trained up. Those arts they have as I put into them, as your highness knows. But sir, here are your sons again. And I must lose two of the sweetest companions in the world. The benediction of these covering heavens fall upon their heads like dew, for they are worthy to inlay heaven with stars.
Thou weepest and speakest. The service thou three have done is more unlike than this story thou tellest. I lost my children. If these be they, then I know not how to wish a pair of worthier sons.
Be pleased the while. This Polydor, most worthy prince, is, as yours, true, Guiderius. This gentleman, my Padua, your younger, princely son, Arviragus. He had upon him the most curious mantle wrought by his mother, the queen, which for more probation can with ease produce.
Guiderius had upon his arse a mole, a sandgreen star. It was a mark of wonder.
This is he that hath upon him still that natural stamp. His wise nature's donation to be his evidence now.
Oh, what am I? A mother to the birth of three? Never did a mother rejoice deliverance more. Blessed pray you be, that from this strange begetting from your orbs, may you reign in them now. Oh, Imogen, thou hast lost by this a kingdom.
No, my lord. I've gained 2 worlds by it. My gentle brothers call me truest speaker. You called me brother when I was indeed your sister. I you brothers, and you were so indeed.
Did you ever meet?
Loved that first meeting. Continued so until we thought he died. She died.
Oh, rare instinct. See, Posthumus anchors upon Imogen, and she, like harmless lightning, strikes herself against each object with a joy. The counterchange is severally in all. Let's quit this ground and smoke the temple with our sacrifices. Thou art my brother, Belarius, so we shall hold thee ever.
You are my father too, and did relieve me to see this most gracious season.
All overjoyed. Save those it bonds too. Let them taste of our comfort.
My good master, let me enter your service.
Happy be you.
I am down again, but this time my heavy conscience sinks my knee, as ended your force. Take that life, beseech you. But first, the ring. And here, the bracelet of the truest princess that ever swore her faith.
You allowed to me. The power that I have on you is to spare you. Now, live. Deal with others better.
Nobly doomed. Well learn the freeness of our son-in-law pardons the word to all.
You did give us back our brother, sir, and for that, we are eternally grateful.
Your servant, princes. Good, my lord of Rome. Call forth the soothsayer.
As I slept, methought great Jupiter upon his eagle back appeared to me with other sprightly shows of my own kindred. When I waked, I found this label upon my bosom, who from senses so in hardness that I can make no collection of it. Let her show her skill in the construction.
Philarmonus!
Here, my lord.
Read and declare the meaning.
When the lion's wolf shall, to himself unknown and without seeking find and be embraced by a piece of tender air. And when the stately cedar shall be locked branches, having been thought dead, shall be jointed to the old and freshly grow, then shall Posthumus end his miseries, and Britain flourish in peace and plenty. Thou, Posthumus, art the lion's wealth, the fitted out construction of thy name being Leonatus doth depart so much. And the peace and tender air, thy virtuous daughter, who even now is the most constant wife.
It's not so seeming.
The royal cedar snakes thee forth, great Cymbeline, and thy true love branches put forth thy two sons, who being thought dead by Belarius stolen, are now jointed to the majestic cedar, whose issues promise Britain peace and plenty.
Then my peace we will begin. Caius Lucius, although the victor, we will submit to Caesar and to the Roman Empire, and promise to pay the wonted tribute from the which we were dissuaded by our wicked queen. Heaven's injustice, both on her and hers, have laid us a heavy hand.
May the fingers of God tune the harmony of this peace. Laud be the God.
And publish we this peace to all our subjects. Set we forward, that a Roman ensign and a British ensign way friendly together, and so through Lordstown march, and in the great temples of Jupiter our peace will ratify, seal it with feasts. Set on there, never was a war did cease, ere bloody hands were washed with such a peace.